The Green Suiters podcast is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support our show, head over to patreon.com/Green Suiters podcast. Before getting into this episode, we'd like to thank the following new patrons for pledging at the $3 tier or above. Mike Donaldson. Thank you for your support. Now, on to the show.
Hey, we're on again.
Yeah, we are.
Why am I looking at you guys again?
I don't know, man. Oh,
Hey,
there
so
you
it
are.
says-
Wait.
Says somebody's recording.
Do I
this.
have to do the same podcast with the same two people every time?
Yeah.
Imagine. We're
Unless
the
you
Green
want to go be
Suiters.
on a different podcast.
Wow, your picture's really crisp, Jason.
I
Yeah,
know.
Jason, I didn't notice.
Wow.
And it sounded like you told us 15,000 times.
It's so much better than your guys. But I mean,
Wow.
that's pretty much the norm in
Mm.
everything with our relationship. So
You're the high quality one.
true
What's
that.
the difference? What are you filming with?
I'm just using my DSLR as my webcam, basically.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
Something that I've wanted to do for a very long time or figure out. And then I went to go figure it out, and it's really not that hard.
Mm-mm.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
Imagine
just gotta
that.
do it. Just do it.
Hey, Ben, have you seen any of the stories that have been going around lately about this Maker Camp event?
No.
So,
Oh, wait. Is
Mike-
that the one that another Woodshop podcast guys went to?
yeah.
Like it already happened, right?
Yeah. So
Um,
Mike and Dan went and visited Pete, and it just happened to be the same weekend as this Maker Camp, which I guess is something that's put on by Jimmy DiResta, or was started by Jimmy. But it looked like a really good time, and it sounded. I listened to their podcast today, but it sounded like a really, really good time. I think I'm going to try to go next year.
what's the premise? Is it kind of like Workbench Con, where they have people just doing different things, showing people how to do?
It's more maker oriented, and they said it on the podcast like perfectly. Like Workbench Con is more influencer focused, and
Okay.
Maker Camp was more maker focused.
Yeah. So it's more
Um,
about the craft, not the business.
Correct. And like,
Yeah.
you can weld, and there was people doing all kinds of stuff there. It just seemed like a really cool, fun time. So next year, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go ahead and go.
Where
Where
is
is
it?
it?
New Jersey.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Ooh.
That does seem pretty cool. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
not nearly as expensive as Workbench Con.
Yeah, I don't know. It was funny. Another thing that they talked about on that, because somebody had asked a question, or they were just talking about like comparing the two, because Mike and Dan have been to Workbench Con, Pete hasn't. But one of the things that they said, and this is 100% true, and you'll see it in February, Workbench Con tends to be very cliquey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I have a feeling
Oh.
that like, I'm sure that even Maker Camp probably had a little bit of that. And a lot of that just goes with, your social media following and who your friends are. And, the bigger you get, the more friends you make with larger accounts. It is like high school. Like social media in general is like high school.
So Ben, you and I are on our own because Jason's so much
Yeah.
bigger than us, and he'll be in a different
I
clique.
mean, we're just the low ballers, We're just the low bottom of the totem pole, so to say.
Yeah, we're not
I would say-
silvers yet.
I would say, oh, that's definitely true. I would say that that's partially true, what you were saying. I look at myself like I'm Channing Tatum. What was that movie? What was that movie that he was in?
G.I. Joe?
No, the movie
A
21
Walk in
Jump
the
Street.
Clouds?
21
Apocalypse.
Jump
Apocalypse Now.
Street. 21 Jump Street.
The Notebook.
And I can't remember who the other guy or what his name was, but real popular guy. But he was like the super smart one, and Channing Tatum was like, the high school celebrity.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill, yes, yeah. I was watching it the other night. That's why I thought about that. But I mean, it's a fair comparison, seeing as how I am extremely handsome, much like Channing Tatum, and you're kind of like the nerd, like Jonah Hill. But you're smart. So
you good?
that's-
You done?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm done. You guys started it. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Sedge and I were talking while we were waiting 15 minutes for you to get on. Did you
I'm
see?
pretty sure I was on in time. Just saying. Right at 7:00.
Jason, if you're on time, you're late, and you know this.
I'm getting ready to transition from the Army, Ben. You should know better.
It still holds true. That rule still holds true, even
No.
here in the
No, it does
civilian
not.
world.
No, it does not.
It does.
Anything that's related to the military when I get out, I want it to be gone. I'm going to just show up 5 minutes late to everything just because I can.
Well, get ready to answer this one question over and over. Hey, do you miss being in the Army?
No.
That is by far the most question that I get asked. Like,
Really?
I'm going to say no.
Hell no. Hell no, I don't miss being in the Army. But like I was saying, Sedge and I were talking. Did you see Guy Dunlap's post?
Oh, I did actually like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. So as this is coming out, I guess Guy, I don't know what exactly he had, but he had to get some stents put in, and he said luckily he didn't have to get bypassed. But as of this comes out, obviously we wish Guy all the best health recovery moving forward. So
Guy's
Sure.
Wood Shop for
Yeah.
people who don't know.
Yeah.
very
Hope you're doing good, guy.
Yeah, he's been very influential in a lot of people's careers with the content that he's put out over the years. So if you haven't heard of him, make sure you go check out either his Instagram or his YouTube.
For sure.
Sedge, what have you been up to the last 2 weeks?
Woo. Just getting cataloging all my hand planes. Just shooting a lot of content with Big D for Sedge Tool.
How many do you have?
Collectors or users?
Oh, roughly.
100.
Oh my God.
Do you really? Where are they all at?
I just was down in the basement earlier today, and I have partials and fulls. I have 6 Stanley 55s and 4 Stanley 45s. It's crazy. It's not 100. It's gonna be. I think I was up to on my spreadsheet. I think I was up to like 85. And I
Jeez.
still got a few hanging around different parts of the house. Yeah, got a lot of
Almost
collectors,
as
but I
many
got
as
a
I have.
lot of users. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun cataloging them because
Mhm.
I realize I'm going to start pairing some of them off, and I got like 4 number 4s,
Mhm.
Stanley bench planes, and I got a couple, but you know what? It's right when you think, I'm going to do that. I just sharpened a number 5 blade, and I cambered it on my Tormac. And oh my God, I haven't even refurbished the plane, and it sings, man.
Let's be real though.
I got a lot of work
If
to
you
do.
said you have, I think you said you have 4 or 5 number 4s, right?
Yeah, I'm going to get rid of some of them.
I mean, you should get
you-
rid of all but one.
No, one's a corrugated, and one's one's a regular, and then okay,
it still-
I have an addiction
listen.
to hand planes.
Is it if one's corrugated, is it still a number 4 or
Yeah, 4C. Yeah.
so it's a different model?
Yep.
Well, I can
So-
understand why you'd keep those 2, but if you have duplicates of a plane, I just don't see where the
Yeah,
like,
sometimes
what do you-
they're collect.
you make
sometimes
one
they're
pass.
Well,
Then
no.
Let me grab my
no,
other
no,
one
no,
real
no,
quick
no.
here.
This is my third
No,
pass
no,
plane. This is
no,
my 4th
no.
pass plane.
Yeah.
No, I guess what I'm getting at is I'm gonna sell some of them off because some of them are like real good antiques and stuff like that. So
Let me ask you a question real quick.
And I'm
since
gonna
we're
piece
talking about
together-
planes. If you could have any one plane right now, what would it be?
Lee Nielsen 4.5.
Boeing 747.
Is that the one I have?
No, you have a number 4.
I think mine's a 4.5.
Reach behind you and pull it out. It's right behind you, isn't
Hold on a second. I'm gonna have to move the cobwebs.
it? It's a 4.
How do you know it's a 4
Oh,
and not a 4.5?
The angle.
Okay. No, check it out. It's a 4.5.
Oh, there's some rust on it.
Oh God.
I'm going to bring this up this weekend. Okay, Ben, don't let me forget.
I'll
Okay.
sharpen it. I'll sharpen it for you, dude. That's my favorite tool. That's my favorite tool right there.
Look, it's so pretty. I almost bought the brass the brass one. And the guy
That would
guy
be
talked me out of it.
That would
Bronze.
be
I'm sorry,
bronze.
bronze. Yeah,
Yep.
it shows how much I know about hand planes.
It's okay.
I was going to buy the aluminum one. Oh no, this is the number 4. It says it right there. It's not 4.5.
I was
Dang
gonna
it,
buy
you
the
were right.
plastic one, but
Oh my God.
How much is a Lee Nielsen number 4.5?
Oh, I forget. I bought it. Oh, God, daggone it. I think I bought it 25 years ago. I forget. I didn't even have 2 sticks to, rub together, but I bought it. I got my other Reach 2 plane that I have is the 60.5 block plane by Lee Nielsen. But I also have a Veritas apron plane that I reach for. So Ben, you made me start thinking about this when I think it was a couple podcasts back about how you have one of everything and you've paired a lot away.
yeah,
I'm starting
no
to do that
duplicates.
with a lot of stuff here. I'm starting to do that with some stuff here in the shop, and I'm making more room.
Yeah,
Like I just threw away a bunch of cherry and a bunch of walnut that it was been sitting in my
just burned it.
shop for a while. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had a big
Put it in
fire
the burn
pit and I
pile.
just put it in a burn
Yeah.
pile. Jason gave me some cherry and I was just sitting around, so
Yeah,
I just
taking up
chopped
room.
it up.
You don't need it. You don't need it.
Actually, I just got
Totally understandable.
well, this will dovetail into something that I've been working on. It'll dovetail into tonight's conversation. Is I just bought the Bora wood racks, so I'm going to be installing those.
Is that what you have, Jason?
Yeah, we're doing that this weekend, Ben.
Okay.
We're helping him.
Maybe.
We're doing it for sure. We're hanging out at your house, right?
Yeah, you guys are coming up.
All right. I
So
told
did
Nicole
you-
you were cooking.
Yeah,
And her
I'm
eyes
gonna-
got all big.
I'm going to throw some burgers on and some sausage
Nice.
and yeah.
Nice. Sedge, did you finish the bow saw?
No. A few things came up on our filming on the weekends, and I want to make sure we started shooting some of the content, but I don't want it to be 2 hours long,
Mhm.
so I'm going to shoot a series because I got to teach Big D how to turn the handles. I got to teach him template routing, small template routing on the router. I got to show him how to make the template. I got to show him, how to epoxy the pins in the handles, all kinds of stuff. So I want to take my time and make sure it is thorough in the video. But we
Yeah.
did it with the cabinet build where we did a cabinet build video, but we did, I think it was 5-part series, the build up to do it.
Yeah. And you're trying to teach Big D
Yeah.
like the steps leading
Yeah.
up to it, so you can't just throw him into the
No.
into the
So,
pits
so what
of
was
it.
cool? What was cool this weekend when they came over, Chris and him? I was using my Stanley my Lee Nielsen number 95. It's a right angle plane, and I was jointing some boards. Just those offcuts you see in my shop, Jason. That I resawed the cherry, and I have those really 1/4 inch or 6 millimeter pieces. Well, I ran those through the planer and I jointed them to make a veneered top. And I was shooting them, and all of a sudden Big D goes, "How do you do that?" So I showed him. Chris started filming it, and then all of a sudden I said, "Hey, wait a minute, Chris, you get over here and do this." So I had the boys hand planing and shooting boards this week, and it was pretty cool. And then I have a little Rapia plow plane, and I said I was sitting on my bench.
Whoa. What did you call it?
A Rapia. It's a English brand. Rapia.
I thought you said a little rapey.
That's
I was
not what
like,
this kind of podcast is.
Wow.
Oh, stop it! It's a Rapia number 3 plow plane, and I showed him how to use the plow plane.
Rapier plowing.
Okay, rapier
Sedge,
plow
I
plane.
think Jason, I think we need a new host for this show.
Oh my God. You guys made me
Ain't
laugh.
that the truth?
Okay, so that's what I've been up to. Jason, what have you been up to?
God, I don't even, not much in the woodworking side of things, honestly. I've been figuring out all the stuff with the video. I did that guild presentation for Woodworkers Guild out of Missouri. Went pretty well. I don't know if I'm going to do any more guild presentations, just because I've done 2 now and they've been fine, but it's difficult, I think, for a person like me who has, only been woodworking for 5 or 6 years, and the majority of the class is twice my age and probably has my age in years of experience. And so I sometimes I just don't really feel like they get anything out of it. And I just don't think I'm at the level to teach them anything groundbreaking. So, but overall, I mean, it went fine. The presentation went fine. It gave me a really good opportunity to do a dry run with the new video and audio setup, and I got all that figured out. So that's good. But that gives me a lot of ideas for my Patreon. Trying to figure out how I can start incorporating some one-on-one sessions or classes or discussions, presentations, that kind of stuff. So that's all something that I'm working on. And then other than that, just doing the little finishing touches for our upstairs guest room.
Mm-hmm.
Couple more things we need to have left to do for that, but it'll be all ready for Ben and Jen.
That's right. What has been like the biggest headache for the upstairs renovation, and also like I don't want to say the coolest thing, but like the thing that you enjoyed the most in doing it?
To be honest with you, okay, the biggest headache, I was going to say really nothing. I mean, we've done multiple rooms now, and there was really nothing I ran into, with the exception of the one thing that I guess kind of was a headache, and that had to do with the shower fixtures that we changed out. But I mean, everything went really well. Nicole did a lot of the painting, and we just worked together. It was really nice to do it together at the same time. The flooring went super smooth. The trim went, every time I do baseboards, I feel like it just gets better and better, like easier. I don't have to keep making additional cuts. Yeah, it just went really well. I mean, it was a simple renovation, but man, what a difference. Wait till you see it. I mean, you're going to be like, is this the same room?
Yeah.
The thing I like the most,
completed pictures of it yet.
Yeah, well, we're trying to save the completed pictures for a reason, which I'll tell you off air, but it's kind of a surprise, but not for you. Other than the fridge full of White Claw that will be up there when you arrive.
Oh,
speaking of that, what's your favorite flavor again?
Jen and I, we prefer the tea White Claws.
Tea White Claws, got it. I know, Sedge shaking his head. The vanity was my favorite part. Vanity is really, really nice to include the top and the fixtures. Just the bathroom was my favorite part. We didn't do anything to the shower other than repaint and recaulk around the edges and all that. But
so it wasn't a new insert.
No, absolutely not. Not for up there. And we probably won't even do it in my son's room, especially because we are, getting a lot more serious about moving at this point. But the tub, the fixtures, they were kind of a pain. And we ended up ordering a couple different ones, and we didn't change out the shower valve, and the stuff that comes in the house is all Moen. And the first thing we bought was some off-brand, which we know better. We shouldn't have done that. So I would have had to change the shower valve. Well, the only way to change a shower valve once the tub is in is by accessing it from behind and cutting the drywall. And we had just finished painting, so I definitely did not want to do that.
Man.
So I ended up just finding another Moen black shower fixture set that we really liked. And the valve was the same style. Obviously the one with the newer one we got is a much newer, fancier one, but we don't need that. Just hot and cold, Yeah. The tub downspout and the overflow cap, those were a pain in my rear end. And I went through like 5 different things trying to figure it out. So for the downspout, the pipe that comes out of the wall is a copper pipe. Well, it wasn't threaded. And the last one we took off was a slip-on that you tighten down with an Allen screw. Well, the one that I bought was a screw-on, and the pipe wasn't long enough. So then I found a fitting that I could put on there that then would allow me to screw it on. Well, even with that fitting, it wasn't long enough to screw on. So then I finally figured out I could get a double female, I believe,
Coupler.
a double coupler from a double female coupler. Yeah. From what's the company that I use all my Shark Bite? And double female, easy there, Sedge. And I just got a threaded extension and screwed it right on, and it worked perfectly. And then the overflow was just a pain in the butt because I had to find the one that just snapped over and the existing, as opposed to one that like you screw in. It was just a nightmare, but I learned a ton from that, so it's all good to go now.
Good. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice little space up there. Everything is new. And you have a Sleep Number bed up there now. You and Jen can both adjust your sides.
About damn time.
Yeah. You could be a 85 and she could be a 45. Doesn't matter. But hey, Sed, you're going to love this. Just to spite our guests, we got a metal bed frame and it squeaks a little bit. So no monkey business up there, Ben.
Yeah, man.
Hope you guys are ready for the show. We'll bring some WD-40.
It ain't gonna work. It's brand new. Still squeaks. What about you, Ben? What have you been up to?
Oh, just the same, the usual. Schoolwork. Finally just passed the halfway mark for this semester. Next week I have to register for my classes for next spring, which will be my final semester until I graduate. So I'm really excited about that. And I got the what is it called? The work table for the shaper. I got it in today.
Oh wow.
Nice.
So I was playing with that a little bit this morning, just kind of putting it together. It's really easy to put together, actually. And started working on some test designs for it. No projects, but I'm just learning how to use it pretty much. But it's really cool. I'm really starting to get quicker at using the shaper, and just being able to design on the fly, I think, is one of the biggest differentiators between it and a CNC. Where, I mean, not that it's slow on a CNC, but if I need to make a really quick adjustment, it's literally two screen presses away, and you can really dial things in again on the fly. So I'm really glad that I have it. Last week I got a Glowforge.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
Which is a really cool story up behind how I got it, or not how I got it, but the person I got it from. But just kind of getting back into that, looking at a few things on Etsy, and kind of looking at that market and seeing how can I maybe reincorporate some of my old designs, not to make them again, but to sell the designs. Just because of you spend most time up front with your designs, and then you can sell them, and then after that, there's no more necessarily work behind it. I mean, obviously, you still answer people's questions if they have questions about the particular design, but for the most part, especially with the Glowforge, you just press a button and you go. So I'm just trying to carve out some time to work on that. But that's pretty much been it. Just making little shop things with the shaper. I finished making all the little cleat racks for all my clamps. What was that, like 2 weeks ago?
Can you talk about the table a little bit more? Or is it kind of like a MFT or something?
Can you say that again? You're cutting out.
Can you talk about the table? Is it like
the
an
work
MFT?
table?
Yeah.
So
workstation.
There you go. Workstation. So the workstation, you can hook it onto any work table surface. It doesn't have to be the MFT, because you can drill it from underneath. But it's designed specifically to work with in conjunction with the MFT. You can use the quick clamps with it. You just turn them upside down on the MFT and it locks it down to the table. And so the workstation, it has the shaper tape built into a work surface. So you don't have to worry about retaping anything. You just use the same work surface. And it's primarily meant for if you want to do vertical plunges in green plunges in vertical pieces. That's where the workstation really comes into play. So, with a traditional CNC, the bit hits the material at a 90-degree angle, and that's really all you can do. Whereas with the shaper, you can do 90-degree plunges, but you can also do, I don't even know what you would call that, 180-degree plunges, I guess. So
is that when you're plunging into the material while you're spinning in a circle?
What's that? I didn't get it. What'd you say?
Nothing.
Okay. But yeah, so you can do really, really cool joinery. I wish I would have heard what you said because I don't even know why you guys are laughing.
No, nothing.
Because your internet connection sucks.
It's not funny. My internet connection is amazing, Ben. I don't live in Timbuktu.
But yeah, that's the workstation. So there's a lot of different designs you can do with it. A lot of capabilities you can do with it that you can't do otherwise, unless you like made your own. And I don't think that you would want to do that. But
what's up, Sedge?
Nothing.
Oh, you were waving your hands. I thought you wanted to say something to that.
Oh no, I just stretching. That was my internet connection.
Yeah, mine's messing up right now too.
We're fine.
Okay, so what are we doing tonight? What are we talking about?
So tonight, and kind of going off of what Jason had brought up last time, which was shop layout, I wanted to talk about shop organization because that's pretty much what I'm doing at the moment. And we kind of danced around it last episode, but I just kind of wanted to get y'all's take on what does shop organization mean to you? Like, what are some things that you focus on? Do you think that you should spend money specifically for organizing your shop? Because it doesn't really, I guess, what is the benefit behind spending money to get yourself organized in your shop versus just tossing something in a drawer? Can you justify spending additional money just for the sake of organizing?
You want to go first, Sedge, or you want me to?
Well, I think we can toss it around amongst us. I'll just start with a couple of things, if that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Ben and everybody out there, I'll tell you right now, I'm always organizing, whether here or at work. Always, always, always organizing. Wherever I've traveled, whatever somebody's shop I've been in, I'm always looking to see how they organize something. You can always pick up tips and all kinds of stuff from people. So one of the things I learned early on, excuse me, someone will come into the training room at Festool and say, and look at the sys wall, and they'll go, "Oh my God, you know where everything is in that wall." And I go, "Uh-huh." And I go, "How do you do that?" And they go, "You must have an unbelievable memory." And I go, "Come over here. See how this says screwdrivers? See how this says wrenches? See how this says template?" Guys, I label everything. I'm a labeling fanatic. Jason, coming over the shop. Ben, you've been to the shop. You'll be here this weekend. You'll see how I label everything. Time is money. I hate searching for something. Hate it. I have a hammer drawer. I have a saw drawer. I have 2 or 3 saw tills. But what I try to do is I organize everything into whatever drawer or whatever cabinet. Now the cabinets I don't label, but I know I have my finishing, my waxes. As I look over to the right here, I know I have some drilling apparatus in some of them, but they're all organized for what I know I need. I categorize things. So about a year ago, I started getting into Kaizen foam. And the beauty of Kaizen foam, here's another organizational tip for everybody. It's worth every single penny. I buy mine from Brian, my buddy Brian, BP Way, Kaizen Inserts. He has them specifically cut for Festool sustainers, but I also buy the bulk foam for him. And I bought his cutting system, tracing and cutting system with the holster, everything. I'm going to tell you what, the best part about it is when I open up a drawer and I see a missing piece, I go, oh, where did I leave that? So I go and I find it. So I know where it is every time I go back to that spot. Same thing with labels. Okay, so there's all kinds of things you can look at. I mean, I mentioned something early in the podcast. I used to do this, like on my plane till. It's a chest of drawers I built 30 years ago, and I took pictures of it. Okay, so I know, so I could go and reference it, right? If I'm on the road and I can go, okay, I start doing stuff. Well, what I did, I used to take pictures of my plane till or my plane drawers. I have a chest of drawers I built many, many years ago. And, you know, it was a good way of kind of looking to see what I had for hand planes in the shop. But what I did recently, in fact, last week, and I started doing this because we were talking about decluttering, Ben, and I was thinking about what you said in a previous podcast about I have one of everything, and if I had multiples, I've sold them. So I started thinking about that, and I started cataloging all my hand planes, and I've been doing spreadsheets on my hand tools and stuff like that. I want to know, over the years, I've just collected so much. I'm just starting to declutter a little because I don't need I don't need 100 screwdrivers. But it's funny. Once you say, hey, I got enough screwdrivers, somebody comes up to you and goes, hey, you want a bunch of screwdrivers? What am I going to do? Throw them away? So it just sounds funny. Over the years, people have just given me a lot of stuff. So I'm trying to give it away or, you know, sometimes sell it. Like I sold a couple things on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. The other thing I can add to organization is I've never been a case person prior to getting involved with the Festool system back in 2004. But boy, I can look around and I got sys ports, and I can access all my tools really quick. And I know, Jason, you don't put them in a case; you got them on the wall behind you. I am now a sustainer person, and I got sortainers, the drawer systems. You know, the beauty of it is I can see where my tools are. The sortainers, I got them labeled. Some of my 3 drawer sortainers, I got Kaizen inserts for my nail guns. I just been going crazy with organizing. This weekend, I'm putting up some lumber racks because I was impressed how you organize your lumber racks, and maybe I can declutter a few corners here. So it's always ongoing. Yeah. And my God, it's just right when you think, oh yeah, that's cool. Next thing you know, I'm organizing another drawer somewhere, and you know, I mean, I got 2 drawers full of hammers. A lot of them were my dad's. You know, I can't get rid of them. They mean so much to me.
Yeah, and that's always an understandable thing. Like especially if it has a lot of sentimental value. Obviously, you want to keep those things because that is the exact reason why you have it. But
oh my God, you know, I'll just say one more thing. Forstner bits. Oh my God, I got so many different Forstner bits over the years. It's crazy. People, I'd go to a garage sale and somebody had these Forstner bits. I buy them for $5, right? Okay. Next thing you know, they're accumulated. I got a whole big old drawer full of Forstner bits, but I got them organized. I got them in foam, and I can eyeball them. And just recently, my buddy downsized his shop in South Carolina. Guess what he had? He had a full set of Freud carbide tipped, which are great Forstners. And I just, I don't know. I gotta start really thinking about how many times am I going to use 5/3/8 Forstner bits,
Yeah,
right?
and that's what I really love about the Shaper is I have a Forstner, like an infinite Forstner bit now. You know, it
Yep.
can be any size that I want it. I had the shelf that's behind me, or right here. I had to put like a 2 inch 2 inch hole in it in the back of it just for cable management. And for a split second, I was like, crap, I don't have a big enough drill bit. And I was like, oh wait, I have a Shaper Origin now. I can just make a hole whatever size I want, and I can do it from the machine. I don't have to like design anything or, you know. So like there are so many tools that are built into that Shaper that it allows me to get rid of a few other things.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, I think you asked the question of, is it worth it to buy things to increase your organization as opposed to just leaving something in a drawer? Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, Sedge, he uses the Kaizen foam stuff. I mean, that's a perfect example of it. But everybody's opinions on organization are different. Like the chaos may be organization for someone, while someone else is like super OCD and needs everything in the right place. I have a hard time with this because I want to be very organized, and I do classify myself in a way as somebody that is OCD about certain things. But my biggest problem is like, that's just always not the thing that is important. Like, I don't want to, my time is so limited at this point that I don't want to not do one thing just to spend an entire day out here organizing, even though down to my soul, like all I want to do is come out here one day and for an entire day, just come up with storage solutions. And I have the Kaizen foam. I have some of it. Sedge kind of talked to me into getting some. Like, I just seen it at his shop and I like that. My only complaint about the Kaizen foam is that, you know, like I have a drawer that just has TSO products, accessories, right? Like I know all the TSO stuff is in that drawer. And I could cut a piece of Kaizen foam to fit in that drawer and house those things. The problem is though, is like, I'm going to lay that stuff out right now the way it is, but what if I need to add one or two things later on and then the sizing just doesn't fit? Do I now waste that Kaizen foam and recut another piece, or just toss it in there at that point because I don't have the time? And so that's my only concern with that. But at the same time, I also hate things banging around in drawers. So I understand the value in it. And I have the same little cutting kit. I bought the high speed cutter and the little spinny wheel to like smooth everything out. And I mean, I've even thought about like cutting it on the CNC machine. Right. But, I really like that, but I just, the thing that I struggle with, like the big stuff's not that big of a deal. Right. Like I have a drawer that has my, Castle pocket hole machine and my router. And those are two big items. And then a couple of the accessories. I don't want to put Kaizen foam in there to sort those. It's not really needed. It's the little things that you collect over time that don't really have a home and just become a junk drawer. Yeah. That's what I hate. And I have a lot of that. And, I'd really like to narrow down. And I'm like Sedge, ever since we had that conversation with you, Ben, and you were talking about like getting rid of stuff. That's one thing I didn't mention since the last podcast. I sold my drum sander. It's gone.
Yeah, I saw that in your
store. Oh, you sold it?
Yeah, it's out of the shop. Yeah.
Wow.
And
local?
Matter of fact,
local dude?
No, he's down in Louisville. He's an Army guy. Ed. He pulled up that day when you guys were leaving at the house.
Oh,
and you had to come back and get your phone. He bought it, and my TS-75 is actually going this Friday. So to one of my patrons, and I've just been like going through stuff, and I'm like, I don't use this. Like, why do I still have this in my shop? I don't use it. Let's make space. And I'll tell you what, just getting rid of that drum sander, even though it took up a relatively small footprint, what a difference. Like, I feel like this shop is twice as big now. It's so weird. And then when I open up my drawers and I just see all this clutter, that all I think about is like, I need to get this in order and also get rid of all these other dumb little things that I'm never using that are just sitting in this drawer. Cause like I think I'm getting to the point now, especially after having all these talks about like shop layout and shop organization and workflow and all of these different things. It's like, I know the things that I use and don't use. And I'm tired of just hanging on to things. Like I have a bunch of woodpecker stuff that it's just on a wall looking pretty and I don't ever use it. I'm going to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to reorganize that whole wall and it's going to give me way more storage space on that wall. Like, why have it if you're not using it and you know you're not going to use it?
Yeah.
So for me, like, I will always try to find, if I can buy something to make my life easier, I will absolutely do it. Yeah. So going back to your question, yes, organization. If I have to buy little bins, little organizers, sortainers, whatever it is, I am not okay. I barely have enough time to try to organize a drawer, let alone build something that houses all of these things. So I would definitely be looking for something.
Do you think that and I think that people, and you kind of hit it earlier, Jason, how organization means different things to different people. And, I think that some people want to be organized for the aesthetic reasons, right? They want their shop to look clean. They want it to look organized. They want it to, maybe they don't, whenever all drawers are closed and all tools are put away, you don't see really any tools. They're all hidden behind doors and drawers and all this other stuff, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's easier to work in that shop. It doesn't mean that it's efficient, so you can be organized without being efficient, and you can also be efficient without being organized, to a degree, I think.
Oh, I totally agree with you.
Depending on how much stuff you have and what the shop layout is and everything. And because like the thing that really got me thinking about this, apart from the conversation we had in the last podcast, was whenever I was making the French cleats or the clamp racks in the shop. And because I was doing on the shaper, and that was like really the first project that I'd done on it, it did kind of take me a while, especially in the beginning, just because I was learning the system. And, like once you create your own shop something about shop organization that you create yourself, your brain starts to kind of go in excite mode where you're like, oh, I can make this and I can make this. And, you start to get down to this nitty bitty, like, oh, this one drill bit, I could make a slot for it in some foam. And it's just like, hang on, do I want to spend that much time trying to organize for this one little particular bit? Maybe the answer is yes, maybe it's not.
Some people definitely do.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is like, do you think that there is a point to where your endeavor to try to become organized is now becoming inefficient? Like you're now making yourself inefficient because you're trying to have every single thing in every little bitty place. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. Like, we've said it multiple times how I don't have any duplicates of anything. So that means that I could get some Kaizen foam and make individual slots for everything, because I don't go out and buy duplicates of anything. I have one of everything that I need, and everything that I need, I use on projects. I use it on every project. So I could go out and buy a sys roll with a couple sys 1 containers, get some Kaizen, and I could probably have all of my stuff in one sys roll cart. But it's like, okay, just because you can doesn't mean that makes you more efficient, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about an example on that, because you're 100% right. You said you can be organized and not be efficient. A good example of that, like every drawer in my shop could be really organized, but let's say I'm installing cabinet hinges, and in this drawer, I have all of these tools, and one of the tools that I need is in that drawer. And then in another drawer, the next tool I need, and then in another drawer, and then on the other side of the shop, the other tool I need. So yeah, you're organized, but are you organized efficiently? No. So like for me, that Home Depot Husky tool storage setup that I bought, I have that organized by drawers. Like I have an electrical drawer,
Mhm.
I have a cabinet drawer.
Yep.
I have a plumbing drawer. I have a flooring drawer. It's basically all of the home renovation stuff, but
Mhm.
and then I have a tool drawer, and then I have like a random drawer and the paint drawer. So everything is with each other instead of like, right here I have the posi drive screwdriver I need, and then on the other side of the shop I have my hinges, and then over here I have my my jigs to drill out the hinge locations, and you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
every drawer might be really organized, but I'm more inefficient because I'm having
Yes.
to go to all these different places to get it, as opposed to
Yeah.
thinking like, what's the task?
Application
mean?
specific.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that was another thing too that I was thinking of is, there are so many different ways you can organize yourself. You can organize things by size. You could organize things by shape. You could organize things by, just how you're saying, Sedge, by task. You could organize it, by workflow. Like, there's so many different ways that you can organize things. I guess the biggest question is like, what are you trying to get? If organization is a tool, what purpose is that tool for? You know, um, I think with me, having tool organization, it kind of goes to what you're saying last time, Sedge, is, you cut things into Kaizen because when you pull that drawer open and you see that something is missing, you now know that it's missing.
Oh yeah.
Because something
yeah.
should specifically go in this little spot and it's not. Where is it?
Yeah. And I can add one more thing to organization. Jason, you laughed at me when you came with Nicole and Leo one week, and I walked out to the car, and you said, "Do you wake up and put on that pouch?" And I went, "Absolutely." I'm lost without my pouch because I have everything I need right there. Task.
Is that a fanny pack?
No, it's
Yes.
it's
Has
the
Kleenexes in it and stuff. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Paul's,
your chaps-
Paul's cherry
keep
cough
your-
drops, chapstick.
Keep
yeah,
your chapstick
watermelon.
in it.
But you want to be organized. I have everything I need right there in that pouch. So so I have tool totes that are empty. So if I'm gonna go do some plumbing, right? I have my
Mhm.
plumbing sustainers. I'm not gonna take all my plumbing sustainers. I build those totes. Jason, when I was over your house, you had a tote that you brought down from the bathroom that you were working on, right? Or the
Yeah.
room, and we were putting it away into all your different areas. So I have those totes that I build. Like if I'm gonna go help somebody with something, what am I gonna need for that? And I'll take 15, 20 minutes to make sure I have everything in that tote. When I come home, I bring it in and I put everything away.
Yeah, I started doing that is because I like the ones you have those Festool bins with the handles
Yep.
that are open on both sides.
Yep.
I can't remember what they're called, but I like that because you do have like a plumbing one and a drywall one and all that stuff. And that's kind of how I operate doing the home renovation stuff is, I have that CT MIDI that is just kind of a floater in my shop. And I kept a couple of sustainers and sortainers out that are empty. I didn't put them in the attic because when I do those tasks, that's exactly what I love to do. I like to, hey, I'm going to need all my plumbing stuff. I'm going to need my electrical stuff. And I just toss it in there and then I have everything there. When I'm done, bring it back out. But being able to go to the right drawers to find that stuff is also key. Even with that task, I'm getting ready to go do a job inside. I need to load this up. Where are these things at?
Yeah.
So then that goes back to that organization.
Ben, do you wear a pouch or a bib apron or an apron?
Just the apron.
Just the apron. Okay.
Mhm.
Because I know Jason wears an apron and he wears a pouch now because we're prototyping that the pouch for Leather by Dragonfly
Mhm.
for Patrick and Michelle. And I'm
And
going
I'm
to tell you
also-
something. It's the best pouch.
Yeah.
Go
I'm
ahead.
so glad that it's getting cold now because when it starts to get cool, I wear jeans and pants all the time, which means I'm wearing a belt. And any other time I'm always wearing shorts and I can't use the pouch during that time. And now it's starting to get cold and I can wear my pants and wear that pouch around the shop. No, it's fantastic. But I mean, that's become such a crucial part. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like I'm looking for it constantly and it drives me nuts too, because I got so used to wearing it while we were like really, really testing it out a lot
Yep.
that it had all of my most common things in it.
Yep.
And I wore the apron forever. The apron that Ben has was actually the first one that I had from them. And like, I know where everything is. And I wore that pouch and I didn't wear the apron for a long time. And one day I came out in the shop and I said, I'm going to put on the apron. And it took me some time to get used to again, because I was constantly reaching for my hip constantly. As before, when I first started wearing the pouch, I was like reaching for my chest, and the other things that I had on my apron. So, there's a weird little transition between, but like that little thing that little pouch has all of the things that I need immediately, 90% of the time.
And they really worked with us, and we are working with them. And I'll tell you, I've always had, before that, I had the Occidental nylon one, because I like belt clips. I don't like loops. I don't like that. I just want to walk out, clip it on. I'm going to tell you, that pouch holds everything, but the belt clip is wicked heavy duty. I can't wait till they come out with it. You know why? Because I'm tired of answering on Sedge Tool, hey, where'd you get the pouch? Almost every video now. God, Patrick, Michelle, come out with it, would you?
I wear the apron. I wear the apron mainly because it helps me stop from misplacing my tape measure, my Pika, the little T ruler that you gave me, Jason. Like those three things. That's the only reason. I mean, not the only reason why I wear it, but whenever I'm not doing anything too dangerous that would, there'd be like a kickback or something that would hit the apron. But, just having everything right here by my chest, like I don't misplace my pickup pin because I set it down somewhere when I'm in the middle of something. I just put it back on my chest and it's there every time. The same thing with my tape measure. It's got that little slatted hook. I guess that's the best way to call it, the little flat hook that the tape measure just quickly snaps onto. Like that is the only reason why I don't misplace my tape measure, because I just put it back where it is, Do you think that there is anything in your shop that promotes disorganization for you? And if you don't get what I'm getting at, I can explain it.
Explain it, please.
So when I had my workbench, the big one, the 7-foot workbench in my shop, I just sold it, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had a tendency to, I'm in the middle of a project, I need to move a tool, or, I need to move something just quickly out of the way. I would put it on the workbench, and, because again, I everything's based off my MFT. And that workbench, even though I got rid of it because of the size of it, but also because it became an excuse for me to not put things away. It became something that it made it easy for me to no longer be organized, at least in that moment or for that project. But now, like today when I was putting the workstation together for the Shaper, I was kind of in the middle of a project, and I had things that were on the MFT3, and like I didn't need to have the project done right there. I just kind of left everything there. But like I was like, oh, crap, now I need to move everything. But again, because I'm constricted on the horizontal surfaces that I have. I mean, I could have easily just put it on the ground, but it is kind of that constraint is almost a forcing function for me to put things away when I'm not using them. And because of that, I stay, my work area stays cleaner and less cluttered, even during projects, because it's like, okay, I have to decide what I want to have on this work surface. Do I want to have some tools out that I don't really need right now, or do I want to have more work area for this one thing that I am trying to do? And so, and again, it's 2 steps away to put things away. I don't know. I just find that once I got rid of that work table, that I stay more organized. My shop is more clean than it has been in the past.
Well,
and it's because I got rid of that.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. The more horizontal surfaces you have, the more stuff you're going to have out, because the immediate reaction is, I need to do something. I'm going to move this from here to here.
Yeah.
For me right now, it's my router table. If I showed you my router table right now, it's full of a bunch of stuff that I haven't put away. And it's been that way for a very long time. And I'm like, well, I'm not using it. Don't worry about it. But the other thing for me is assembly table to miter saw station. And this happens all the time. Exactly what you're saying. I'm in the middle of a glue up and I have all of these different things out and all these different pieces of wood for assembly. Well, now I've got to move it back here. And then I'm like, oh crap, I got to make a cut. And then I'm moving things from one place to another. That I think is more of that's a mentality thing. Like you're being very deliberate with not leaving things out on those surfaces, maybe because you have less space, right? And you don't have all that horizontal surface, but I think the more horizontal surface you have, the more you feel like you can get away with it. So like for me, one of my like kind of, weird quirks about myself is that like at the end of the day, I like to clean up.
You smell your fingers after you poop.
Yeah. I like to clean up my shop at the end of the day. And people always so weird. People always comment and they're like, oh, it's a studio, it's not a workshop, it's so clean, blah 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 blah. It's like
it's a demo room. It's a demo room.
Like, no, how about I just have the discipline to clean up at the end of each day, because I like to come out to my shop the next day and not spend the first 30 minutes cleaning up.
Power of 10. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I remember that video.
By the way,
it works.
I have some really good comments for tonight.
It's
been a doozy this week. Oh yeah. I can't wait. But anyways, yeah. So I get what you're saying. Horizontal surfaces. The more you have, the more cluttered you're going to be, because the more you think you can get away with it.
Because humans by nature, I'll let you go, Sedge, next. We pick the path of least resistance. So if you have, it's like, if I have all this empty horizontal surface, why would I not put things on it? And that's like a subconscious thought. Like, because like you're in the middle of doing a project, you're hopping and popping. I'm gonna set this down real quick, and oh my God, I'm so bad about being like lost in thought and just setting something down. I did it today with it sounds bad, with my tape measure. I was like, where the hell did I put my tape measure?
Yeah, it's time, man.
It was right at the bottom of right at the corner of my MFT Capex. I was like, oh, well, there it is. Had I been wearing my apron, that's when I put the apron on and put everything back to where it was. But I think that by restricting myself, again, and that's just for me, it's a forcing function for me to stay more organized. Like that is my bin hack to stay organized, is don't give me enough horizontal surfaces, because I'll just put crap everywhere. Go ahead, Sedge.
One of the things that was really thoughtful about disorganization for me. Since you guys have been talking, I've been looking around my shop and realizing my clutter is offcuts. Okay. I have a barrel that I throw a lot of scrap in, and I'm constantly going back in there. But when you have a nice piece of cherry, a nice piece of walnut, it's weird. I have all these pieces of cherry kicking around. They're offcuts, but guess what? I've used them and I've replaned them, but man, they're just all over the shop. Walnut, and I'll use them for something, but I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 6 turning blanks on my workbench. I'm not going to throw them away. There's some pretty cool exotics. But it's, where do I store all of that? I can look in the corner. You guys will see it this weekend. I have about 30 pieces that I've already pre-turned that, when I need something, I don't have to take them down from square. They're already halfway there. I guess that's the biggest pain. Offcuts.
That's the biggest pain. It really is. Like the small pieces that you think you need to keep and want to keep. For you, I understand, because you have a lathe. So like literally just about any piece of wood could become something. For me, I've gotten to the point where if it's under 12 inches long and, it's only, 1 to 2 inches wide or something like that, I just get rid of it, because the immediate thing that I think about is a cutting board. I just made 5 cutting boards with a bunch of scrap that I had for a guy I work with who's a realtor in his free time. And it got rid of a lot of the stuff, but I have a drawer built into my miter saw station now to handle those small offcuts. But I still find myself putting a 4 by 5 inch piece of white oak in there. It's like, what am I ever going to use that for?
Yeah.
It's such a hard thing to stop.
I found that what helps me get rid of those offcuts is, like with you said, you have all these little bitty pieces kind of sitting around. I found that if I give a purpose to the scraps, like how you're saying, Jason, like making a cutting board. When I do have those offcuts, I go ahead and I dimension them right then and there. Like, okay, I know that, if I want to make a 18-inch cutting board, I need 18-inch strips. They need to be these dimensions. I go ahead and dimension them right then and there. And I have a little notepad that says, these are the dimensions of all the scraps that I need and how many I need to make this cutting board. And once I get those dimension pieces, anything else I throw away. And I make that cutting board, or I make whatever that project is, I go ahead and make it. So anything else, I feel comfortable throwing them away because I know that I don't have a need for them. And, if I am hurting so bad that I need like some scraps, and we've all been there before where it's like, you're so thankful that you had this one little piece of scrap because it, helped you recover this one project or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But, more times than, how many times does that actually happen? Are you keeping scraps more than those circumstances or those events happen? It's probably
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You're keeping the scraps way more than what you.
Oh, really absolutely.
Let me, because you just mentioned. Let me give you an example of what I was talking about. This is an end piece of some 8/4. Look at the crack in it.
Look at that. Look like a child's mallet.
Yeah. Hold on. Look at that huge, like I could literally smack this on the table right now and it would split in.
You better keep it then.
Bring it to me this week.
I use this.
I'll rip it and turn it.
You're going to turn this tiny little piece of wood?
You're damn right. How thick is it? Is that 6/4 or 8/4? I don't
pen blank.
I do not turn pens. I turn tool handles.
Yeah, this would be perfect. I'll bring it to you. So like,
I'll turn a handle for you.
You're now hey, you know what? You were just talking about how you hate how you have so much. Well, I'm gonna bring you a whole bunch more there. So.
No, you're not.
But like, I reached into my drawer one day and I was doing something. I did like a test cut with the Domino 700 for some reason, and I'd like to center it or something. I don't know, and that's why that Domino's still in there. This has been in my scrap drawer. Like, why? But my method for organizing my scraps, going back to the conversation of organization, was I'm going to build a drawer on the very, very top that can handle a lot of those small offcuts. Because I was thinking, like, where do your small offcuts usually happen? No, typically the miter saw.
Miter saw, yeah.
So I can just open up that drawer, plop, goes in there, and then it just builds up over time. But like, this is the kind of crap that ends up in there.
Yeah, and like today I had some acrylic left over, like I don't know, 9 inches by 3 inches maybe, a little strip of it. And I was like, oh, I could keep this because I do have an idea for some acrylic coming up that I could keep it for. Let's not forget that I have like 10 sheets of acrylic already that are untouched.
Wow.
Weird flex.
So what's that?
Weird flex.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that
Kidding.
I got fixated on trying to keep this one little 9-inch strip of acrylic when I had this massive pile behind me. And it's like, okay, well, how much could I actually use this for? Like, how much more am I going to get out of this that I wouldn't get already from this stack of 10 sheets? And it's like none. Like, okay, maybe one or two of the pieces that I'm trying to make, if that. So it's like, I'm willing to hold on to this piece of scrap because it's going to save me 2 pieces that I'm trying to cut out later. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And so I think that is the logic that our brains immediately go to when we keep these scraps and whatever. And I've gotten to a point now where I have this Tupperware bin that I keep underneath my miter saw. And my rule for myself is that I don't go back in there to look for things. Whatever goes in, it stays in there. And once it's full, I throw it away or I burn it. And that's it. And that helps me not hold on to scraps Yeah, and it just helps not having just pieces of wood scattered all throughout your workshop.
Yeah.
So
This sounds like a podcast called Hoarders Anonymous.
I mean, realistically, like that's everybody.
It is.
The only so Ben,
Oh my God.
your shop is the closest to like one of those minimalistic shops, and typically those shops they're the festival fanatics. I mean, they just are. There's a guy on Instagram, and for right now, of course, because I'm thinking about, I cannot for the life of me remember his name, but his garage is his shop, and it's just super clean, super minimal, only Festool.
mhm.
And I just love it. It's always just so sleek. He builds this beautiful modern furniture, and I look at that and it's like, I bet you that like he's so OCD about it, and he's in a position where, like you said, he doesn't have a bunch of horizontal surfaces to put stuff on, so he just keeps everything super clean and super
Yeah, it's a
organized.
forcing
And
function to stay clean and organized.
yeah, you know what? I'm just going to sell everything that I have,
Just do it.
and I'm just going to make my
DeWalt. Just get DeWalt.
shop. No, yeah, I'm going to make my shop like a what is it, like Sedge's
You need a
classroom at work.
You need to film in like a black turtleneck long sleeve shirt and be like, "Hello, welcome
Hello.
to the Middle West
Have my-
Woodworker."
Yeah, have my pipe,
Oh my God.
have a recliner in the shop that I sit in before every video, like kind of like a Mr. Rogers type vibe.
Sipping some Burgundy.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say something. Now I can't remember what it was. Must not have been important.
Obviously not.
But no, I don't know. I'm just like obsessed right now with like trying to downsize and get rid of things.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing too, is like sometimes I feel bad because, you know, I'm in a good position and I have cool tools and things that people like. And sometimes I'm like, I just want to give shit to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that makes me feel good when it's like, oh, I find a local woodworker that, you know, hey, he needs these anti-fatigue mats, or he needs just stuff that I'm not using. And like, I've got so much of that stuff. And it's just like, man, why, you know,
Yeah.
why do I have
I
all
think-
of this?
I think it's a good question to ask yourself. And, you know, as a Western culture, Americans, we're fillers, right? If you move into a house and there's a big empty wall, what do? Oh, we gotta fill it. We gotta fill it with something. We can't just have this big empty wall. And it's almost the same thing with shops, where it's like, oh,
It's
well,
absolutely the same thing with shops.
I've got this big empty space. I can put something there. Well, just because you have a big empty space doesn't mean you need to put something there. It should be the projects that you're trying to build that should dictate where you put things and
Exactly.
what you buy and, you know, all that. And
It was funny. I was having a conversation with my sergeant major today. And he likes to do trim carpentry.
mhm.
And he's getting pretty serious about it. He's like finding like local jobs in his spare time to start doing all that. And he's been talking to me about it the last couple of days a lot. He's a Milwaukee weenie. He's all about the pack out system. I've been trying to coax him over to Festool for the last couple of days, but he was telling me he's looking at getting he wants to get a shop. He has a good sized property, and he has like a separate garage, but he actually wants to build a shop. And he was like, yeah, you know, I'm thinking I got this space and, you know, like 16 by 24, like standalone shop. I think that'd be good. And I just looked at him and I laughed and I was like, yeah, for now it's good
Yeah.
until you have the shop and you
Yeah.
get more serious about this and you really start to enjoy it. And then you wish,
Yeah.
hey, I have this space. I'm going to put this tool over there. I'm going to put that tool over there. And he kind of just laughed about it. But it's funny because that's like always the conversation that you have
Mm-hmm.
with people. And then I think so here's a really good addition to this conversation. You know, when I think you really start getting serious about organization is when you start getting limited on space.
Yeah. Yeah, because it makes
That's
you
true.
forces
That's
you to
true.
think about it and
Yep.
forces you to look at it. Yeah, absolutely.
Because that, like, since I've been in the shop, I never really like considered that before until right now. And as time has gone on, hence the lumber racks, right?
Yeah.
Why did I get the lumber racks put up? I would much rather have vertical storage, but I can't because I don't have the space. So my solution was use unused space and organize my lumber and do it on horizontal wall racks. And, then it was, well, I have more lumber that can fit on the racks. Now I need to find another place. It was on top of my toolbox thing from Husky. So I had the drop down attic ladder installed, and I started to put all the empty sustainers and everything up there. And now I have space for my lumber. So the more crowded you get, the more I think organization and decluttering becomes important. And that's where I'm at right now. It's like, what can I get rid of today?
But does that mean that once you declutter and once you get rid of things, does that mean that you're going to go right back to trying to fill it? So what
100%,
is it that
100%? Let me prove it to you. Let me prove it.
So
to
we
you.
we can have episode 8 version 2 in about a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I sold the drum sander. The next thing that's on the chopping block is my router table, which I still am not 100% on because it's so awesome, but I want to get rid of it. But then, you know what I thought of as soon as I was talking, because I have a plan to build it into my assembly table, and it just makes sense, right? Because I have such a big assembly table. I have a really cool idea, but more on that later. But I was like, if I get rid of the router table, you know what I can put there?
I already know.
Lumber rack.
Mm-hmm. Harvey lathe. Because I have a dust port right there that goes to the assembly or that goes to the router table. It would already be set up. I have a 220 and 110 outlet directly behind.
Yep.
And I really liked turning. So next year, I think it's going to happen. Like,
cool.
It'd be cool. Then I'm just going to turn a bunch of bats and just go hit things with it. I'll give them all to Leo.
Oh my God.
Leo, here, go hit things around the house. Mom will love it.
So what have been the changes in both of you guys since y'all have started to kind of reduce some of the clutter? Like what have you, and not just, I'm not saying like with efficiency in the shop, but like you personally, has there been a change in you and how you feel about the space or how you feel when you're in the space?
Let's go ahead, Sid. You go first.
I am in my shop more because you have a lot of clutter. You walk out into a shop and you know my power of 10 philosophy, but it's just sometimes you walk out and you get way overwhelmed. Yeah. And as I go through decluttering and more organizing, I'm in my shop more often. And I'll tell you a couple of things that I'm going to be doing a video on soon for Sedge Tool is why am I in the shop more? And I did a couple of things. I'll say it every time. The HVAC system, it's comfort level in here. It's wonderful. I added 756 square feet to my house, my shop. It's wonderful to be in here. And the lighting is everything. Yeah. So now I'm decluttering. I'm giving myself more space for assembly area. I even went, I got that STM 1800. I think I used it more as an assembly table than the cutting station. It's wonderful. It folds up, goes underneath an MFT. It's awesome. So as I decluttered, I'm less overwhelmed in the shop and I can get more done. I am more productive. Yeah. That's how I look at it. It's a win-win. And now I'm looking when I have some free time, maybe at the end of or late Sunday afternoon when I'm starting to, wind down because I never have a beer while I'm working, never ever. And even sanding, I don't crack one open, but when I'm winding down and cleaning up, I'll open a pop. And I'll tell you, the next thing I know, I'm going, okay, how can I organize that drawer? How can I do this? What can I do here? And as you're cleaning, you're going, oh, you know what? That would be more efficient. So you just, I jot things down and do it the next day. Or if it's nothing too, labor intensive, I'll do it right then and there. Yeah. It's just making yourself more efficient, and it gives you that feeling of well-being to be in that shop, because it's something I've loved my entire life. I continue to just build stuff, and it's a no-brainer. I like being in my shop. It's my home.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I spend as much time as I can in here. Marianne, my wife, comes out. She sits over on the side. We just hang with the dogs. I got 3 shop dogs. They're wonderful. And she loves it out here in the wintertime
Yeah.
because
it stays warm.
it's comfortable. That Mr. Cool, and I had a professional installer install it. His name was Jason Bent.
Yeah. It's very handsome, I heard.
Oh my God. It took you what, 2 hours?
Yeah, it didn't take us long.
No, I think 2 hours and a 12-pack.
Yeah, per hour. I did get pretty liquored up that day.
We work for beer.
Oh yeah, I'm always down to work for beer.
Oh my God.
You provide the beer, I'll gladly install a mini split.
Yep, more productive to answer your question, Ben.
Yeah. What about you, Jason?
I just like being out here more. Like I literally want to go in that big open area behind my table saw and break dance. You know what I mean? Like it's just so ridiculous how like I'm looking at it right now. You'll see it when you're here, Ben. Like one little thing that just it seemed like it was crowding an area. In reality, I could have moved it at any time. It had wheels on it, for Christ's sake. But now that it's not there, and then on top of that, I moved my bandsaw to the other side, which fixed a whole nother problem for me. Like it is just, I just feel like I have so much more space. It is absolutely crazy.
Okay.
And I just love being out here now. Like I want to do things.
Is it because there's nothing that is taking up that volume of space, or is it because you got rid of something that you have for months felt like you didn't really need?
Maybe a little bit of both, but for me, I think it's more the space, to be honest with you. Because like that's, again, once you start to get limited, I think that's all you think about. Like you're looking around and you're like, God, man, why?
Should have just moved it into the kitchen and just.
Nicole would have loved that. We could have like taken a pizza like out of the oven and like put it on the drum
really
sander,
made that
like,
thing level.
Really, exactly. Like really, like even all the sausage and pepperoni and peppers and everything out. Yeah.
You have moved that drum sander around your shop. Every time I've been there, it's somewhere different.
Oh,
or
for sure.
was.
And I mean, like, and the router table now, it's just like, it's just sitting there. And I even thought about now taking that and putting it back to where it was, which is in front of the garage door. But like, I think I just love opening up the garage door and there's like nothing in the way now. Like for instance, Leo's birthday, we're getting him a bouncy house and it's going to be in the driveway and he's going to love it. Right.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah. For the guys that are going to be here, I'm just going to roll up the garage door and we're just going to hang out right there in that open area and watch the kids and drink beer and have plenty of space. It's going to be awesome. Yeah, that's the real reason.
Like bouncy house.
Yeah, that's the real reason why. Oh, he's going to want you to come in there for sure. That's the real reason why I got rid of it. So we can just sit in the garage and drink beer and I don't have to move anything because I'm lazy. But no, I feel like the more I'm at the point, I don't want to be crowded. I never have wanted to be crowded. I don't like it. I don't like having to move around things to, like I got to move this here and move that there just so I can finish this or I can make this cut. I don't like doing that. So if I don't have to do it and it means I have to get rid of a tool that I almost never use and I can just reach out to another local woodworker and be like, hey, I've got these 10 pieces I need to bring by and run through your drum sander. Is that cool? Sure. Or find another way to do it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it makes my heart very warm inside. Is that a good answer? No?
That's a great answer, Jason. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, Jason. I think you know what time it is.
I think I do know what time it is.
Favorite segment. Get Bent.
That's right. It is Get Bent now.
It's Get Bent, baby.
All right. I've got some doozies today.
Okay.
Buckle up. I'm going to start off with one that's not so great, but just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. This was on, a lot of these are from my vinyl flooring video. I think because it's doing really well and more people are seeing it. Now people that install flooring for a living are seeing it and they're just telling me how stupid I am. Same thing with my most recent video on the scribe, which is funny because at the end of the video I talk about that. There was actually another part I had in there that I took out because I thought it would piss people off too much. But this one is for the flooring. So let me give you some context. In this video, I have these we have these little foam pads, but they're meant for like working out where you can like put your hands on them and slide out and do core work and all that stuff. Well, clearly we don't use them what they're designed for. So when at the very first flooring project I did, I have knee pads, but they're extremely uncomfortable. And so I just use those and they slide around on the floor really good and they protect my knees. This is the comment. Dude, just get you some knee pads. Just saying. That's the first one. Really? Oh, here's another one. Same video. So no prep work? Nice. The most important thing in floor installation is the right prep done before. So what about following manufacturer instructions? Useless.
Wow.
So this was on Leo's Playroom that I did that. Leo's Playroom floor, not only did I do the prep work as in removing all the tack strips, sweeping everything up, cleaning the floor very well, making sure there was no debris, which I clearly stated in the video, but there was no leveling that needed to be done because his floor was like the nicest floor in the entire house. Like everything was level. Everything was within tolerances based on the manufacturer's instructions. But yeah, yep, that's definitely a flooring installer for sure.
Nice prep work.
Unbelievable.
I'm kind of mad you didn't read off the new one off the.
Hey,
I'm getting there.
Jason, do you answer? Jason, do you answer some of those questions like I do?
No.
Jason, as your marketing manager, I think that I should have full authority to answer questions like that or comments like that.
I mean, I gave you authority to my account, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm just saying. I
Yeah.
think I should have the authority to respond to comments.
Yeah, because I don't care if they stay or go. Here's another good one. Same video. Here we go again. This is how I know that the video is kind of like spiking right now, is because I'm getting all these comments. 26-minute mark. You are way too close to the wall with peace. Must be quarter-inch away from the wall at all times. Enjoy a buckling floor that can't float like it's supposed to. Rookie mistake. Okay, dude. Except I have it throughout my entire house and not a single place has failed. And I'm surprised that he has a good enough eye to show that, or to see what a quarter-inch looks like on video.
Yeah.
At all camera angles. Dumb. Oh, and the other thing too that I think is funny that people don't realize is that like drywall doesn't go all the way to the floor. So you still have what, 3/8, 5/8 of an inch, even if you ran it all the way to the wall. You know why? Because to the framing, you still have the offset of you still have the offset. Well, the baseboard goes on top of it, but you still have the offset from the framing of the house underneath the drywall, which a lot of people forget. All right. This is
Are you talking about for the expansion?
Yeah. But there, I mean, it's a floating floor. There isn't any expansion contraction with vinyl plank flooring.
Yeah.
But
because it's vinyl.
Yeah, the floating. This is a good one. And I'm going to tell you guys, I haven't responded yet, but I'm going to. I haven't responded for like 3 days right now, but here we go. This is on the Harvey Dust Collector 6-month review. Holy cow. $3K plus for a dust collector. I wonder if you think a $20 hamburger is reasonable also. You know what I'm going to respond to him with? If it's Kobe beef, I do.
Yeah. Wagyu burger, baby.
Yeah. If it's a Wagyu, I just want to write, is it a Wagyu hamburger?
You oughta.
All right, I'm going to read the one that Ben is talking about, even though I know it's against my better judgment.
Oh my
against my
God,
better judgment. Let
don't.
me find it. Oh, here we go. There it is. I'm telling you, it's been a doozy the last like 2 weeks. I mean,
Wow.
people are coming out of the woodwork. This one is from my 10 tools that you should own, which is always a good video for stupid comments. Here we go. Is there a brand of fleshlight that you prefer over another? If so, can you explain why it's your favorite and where I can purchase one for myself? Thanks.
I completely and totally think that you should go find one on Amazon and create an affiliate link for it.
I'm pretty sure Fleshlight's not on Amazon.
Oh, we're about to find out, buddy.
But I do want to go to the website and find like the polar vortex pattern or something like that. Like this is my favorite.
This is my go-to because
this one's modeled after Riley Reid. She's my favorite porn star. You should definitely check it out.
No, you should make it a dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Butt fleshlight.
That's the name of the episode.
Yeah, butt fleshlight.
That was my porn name in college.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Butt fleshlight.
Yes.
Not a good name to have in college, Sedge.
Well, you know.
It happens. Whatever you can do for an A.
Hey, I have 4 years. It got me through.
Fleshlight's an
man.
organization.
Fleshlight's
Episode A.
organization and walnut. Right. Yeah. That,
All right.
Are we
We're
going
doing
to recommend an account?
Yep.
Go ahead, Sedge.
Okay.
Sedge, you first, my good man.
I want to recognize a friend of mine.
Better not
He's
take
here.
mine.
He's here in Indianapolis.
Thank you, Sedge. Ben's Woodworking. That's so nice of you.
And this guy, they just did a documentary on him it's part of the Heartland International Film Festival here in Indiana, right here in Indianapolis. His name is Brian Presnell. You know him, Jason. He's the owner, and he's the guy who started and on Instagram, it's at Indie Urban Hardwood. And this guy is a tour de force. He is an artist. He's a graduate from Heron School of Design. He is created such a community, or he's part of the woodworking community here in Indianapolis. But Indie Urban Hardwood is where I get my slabs. He started recycling trees all around Indianapolis. The name of the film, the documentary, is I Am B Prez. I Am B Prez. And it is amazing, and they may even win a couple awards at the Heartland International Film Festival. So go check him out. Great guy. If you're in Indiana or in the area, go see him. Go see the crew there. They're just wonderful people. He's got a kiln, wood miser.
Yeah, if you're looking for slabs, that's a good place to go.
Oh, yeah. And just a dynamite guy, dynamite business. And I
went there one day. He wasn't in when I was up there.
Yeah. So at Indie Urban Hardwood. Good dude, man. So Brian Presnell. Okay, that's me.
Jason, what do you got?
Today I want to do let me see if it has his name on his account real quick. Sorry, should have been better prepared. No, it does not. Kidwell Fabrications.
I haven't heard of that one.
Oh man, you're gonna love it. Kidwell, Kidwell Fabrications. Another Harvey user, for some stuff at least. And I actually didn't know that until just now, looking at his page. But he makes some really, really awesome furniture. Does a lot of chairs.
Oh, he's a
I'm
he's
pretty
a
sure
maniac.
Yes. Yep.
Way cool.
Meaning he's from Maine, Ben. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to describe. Like his work is just, he has a very similar look to a lot of his work. And what I mean by that is, a lot of like rounded corners of things. You'll see that's a very like common theme among all of his furniture. Anyways, he just makes it look so good. Does a lot of walnut, a lot of white oak. He just does amazing pieces. Builds a lot of chairs. I think his chairs are in pretty high demand, but
wow, really
yeah,
nice.
I mean, he does.
Holy shnikey.
Like his account is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. It's like I see guys like this who test the limits, and they probably don't care so much about the social media side of things, so they build whatever the hell they want. As where then you have a guy like me that just like, put my nose down and did all the things that the algorithm wants to like build an audience. And I don't make, like this guy makes a million times better furniture. I mean, he doesn't have nearly as many eyes on it.
So
he's
talented is what you're saying.
Exactly. He's talented. I'm just complete trash. So, but it's like, I look at his work and like Hand Built, I did his on the last episode. I look at those guys and I see the craftsmanship that they do, and I look at their following size, but I'm looking at it from somebody who is on the quote unquote influencer side. And it's like, why do I have the audience that I have? And these guys are building amazing things, and not enough eyes are seeing them. But then at the same time, they may be using social media for their business. They're just crushing it.
Yeah. That's what this guy's doing. He's the bomb, man. He knows his stuff.
But yeah, he does some amazing stuff. And like when I see people like this, that like clearly the chairs that he makes are kind of like the staple, at least in recent posts. I would love to like be a fly on the wall of his shop and see what he has set up to recreate the same thing over and over again for something complex like that. Because you can look at some of these pictures and he'll have 10 of those chairs lined up.
Yeah,
it's like what jigs does he have in place? How does his mind work to make those jigs, to make that work and make them all look exactly the same? It's just very impressive to me. So Kidwell Fabrications, if you're not following him, you absolutely should be, because he does beautiful stuff.
He probably uses Milwaukee.
Yeah, whatever.
If he's fancy, maybe Makita.
Whatever.
Maybe, or a Ryobi.
Oh my
probably
god.
Ryobi.
Yeah. One of those companies that ripped off Festool.
With Gator sanding pads.
Hold on, Ben, before you go, one of the comments, I was telling my sergeant major today, actually, this afternoon, he was talking about like the pack out system and all that stuff. And I'm like, I mean, you could just get Festool. I mean, every other company that has one of these pack out systems is basically their version of what already existed and was perfect.
Too much. He didn't.
It's true.
It's
100% true.
I agree.
Right.
But
I'm not saying I don't have anything against Milwaukee or Makita or any other tool brand, but I mean, that's reality. Like that's exactly what it is. They all, hey, this is a really cool idea. Let's all make one that's similar and try to make it better.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
All right, the account that I am recommending this week is Enfield Refurbishments. ENFIELD Refurbishments.
That's my buddy.
Yeah, and so he's in Warshire, but they do building renovations or refurbishments, so like really, really old buildings in the UK. But what I really like about this account is he collects older Festool items, like really unique stuff, things that may have been a one-off production, and he tries to get like the collection of things, like all the Emerald Cistainers he collects. I was just kind of scrolling through as you guys were talking. There was an umbrella attachment for one of the Tanos containers that he has. So like all of this, I mean, obviously there are some things in different regions that are not available elsewhere, like things that the Russian market gets that nobody else gets, things that Germany gets that nobody else gets, and we all kind of have those somewhat similar items where it's only available, again in certain regions. But it's really cool to see what he has collected over the years, whether it was, based in UK or he like contacted someone else in a completely different region and got access to it. But and every couple posts he'll like do like a really obscure sneak peek of one and seeing if people can guess what it is. And it ranges from something released within the last few years to something that was released decades ago. So if you really love Festool, not just because of the tool brand, but just because of the history of the company, and you want to see all the things that they've made in the past, whether it was again a one-off product or the precursor to certain products we have today, it's just really cool to see that evolution of tools and how far tools have really come within the last few years.
Or you can come over to my shop, Ben.
That's right. Or you can go to Sedge's and you can see a caveman's first chisel that was ever manufactured.
No, I like that pick because it is actually cool. There's so many things that you don't know exist because they're.
Mhm.
I told Sedge this when last time I went back to Germany. We stopped at it was like a contractor or paint store or something like that. And they had Festool catalogs, but they had I have one of the German Festool catalogs. It's way bigger than the American one, and some of the stuff in there, I'm like, holy cow!
Like
but there's a guy I follow.
Thing.
Yeah,
I think so.
There's a guy that I follow who's in Germany. Next time I go to Germany, I'm actually going to go visit with him. Matter of fact, maybe I'll talk about him on the next podcast. But he has all kinds of stuff like that guy. Like every little new trinket or every old thing, like he's always posting about like. And he tags me all the time too. And I'm like,
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
So hey Ben, thanks for calling out John from Enfield Refurbishments. That guy is
you paid him to do it.
The nicest gentleman you ever want to meet. He made me a cutting board. Him and Sustainaman, they presented it to me, but this really neat. He made it out of old English oak, and he made it himself. What a nice guy. They came over, him and Sustainaman, Litka, and they came over for the Festool Connect in Las Vegas. Nice people, and what one heck of a craftsman.
Yeah, they do some really cool stuff, especially with older buildings and fixing foundations and fixing timber frames and stuff like that. It's really cool stuff.
And chimney flues too.
Yeah. I think some of the coolest videos that I've seen of him, like out in the field, was using some auger bits in the impact drill from Festool and just chewing through some stuff, like massive auger bits that you wouldn't think a hand drill could handle, but it's really cool stuff. And then, fixing the joinery, and it's really cool to see it, especially like it's like an older craftsman style kind of being brought into the modern times. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
But that's going to do it for us this week. Jason, I'm sorry, Sedge. Wait, did you want us to go first or Sedge to go first?
It doesn't matter. Everybody knows Sedge is like Beyonce of.
All right, Sedge, why don't you go ahead and give us your spiel?
Give me time to drink a whole nother beer.
Whatever. Hey, check the channels out. Let's see. At Sedge Tool on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, at Sedge Tool. Let's see. Festool Sedge on Instagram, Festool USA. I'll call it out for Festool Live. And now, Festool Shop Talk. We're on Apple, Spotify, and a bunch of other platforms. And I'm going to tell you, we just posted live today, Jason Hibbs.
Yeah, Jason Hibbs.
Mm-hmm.
Bourbon Moth.
Funny.
Oh my God, does he make me laugh?
He's not. I don't know why he's not that funny.
It was fantastic, and
he's kind of a clown.
We got oh my God, he's awesome. So we got a bunch of cool stuff lined up for that. So that's where you can find us. That's where you can find me. Thanks.
Awesome, Jason.
I love Jason Hibbs just because he has such a great name. Minus the Hibbs part, but for me, Ben's Woodworking, YouTube, Instagram, benswoodworking.com. Ben, and like my website is doing well. It's getting more views, and I think it is really a result of articles. To be honest with you,
Yeah,
and plans.
very well written articles and plans. Oh, plans.
Yeah, speaking of plans, I know I gave somebody some dimensions for a second. I don't know. Video's been out for a while. It's no big
I'm
deal.
looking at
Probably lost.
I'm looking at my bank account. I don't see any
Oh,
additional
man.
funds.
Hey,
come
Ben,
in, so-
just to be clear, once you deliver them to me is when I would pay you for them.
Ah,
Just
transparency
saying, if you wanna
is everything.
earn
That's
some
right.
money. I mean, I'm not just going
Right.
to give you money and then be like, oh yeah, whenever you have time. Yeah.
Time is
Anyway,
money.
Money-
Ben's
You can
Woodworking,
find-
everybody. I mean, let's be real. You know who I am. I mean, come on.
Oh my God.
I mean, look at me. Look at the button behind me. Look, you see that silver play button? Oh, you see it, buddy?
Yeah. You see it? I might take it down
Why?
Clutter.
because you're about to come for one. Two,
Oh.
it doesn't it doesn't define me, Ben.
It just makes you mad whenever you don't have it or you think it's missing.
Exactly. So I'm going to hide it.
That is
I'd be more,
funny.
I'd
You
be
know
more
what?
concerned
Actually,
about
I'm
that
gonna hide-
DS700 missing than anything else.
I'm going to hide all of the Festool crap that I have for you sitting over there on my workbench. I'm just going to hide that. I'm going to hold it ransom until you leave. And I'm going to be like, yep, still got everything in my shop. Here you go, Ben. Enjoy.
And then I'll just make you ship it to me.
Yeah. Good luck on that.
All right. You can find me on Instagram and YouTube at Ben Marshall Designs. You can also go to my website, marshalldesignworks.com. And that's pretty much it.
And at the end of the day, nobody really cares.
No, well, it's a school project, at least as of right now, it is.
Oh, I'm so excited about your website. Anyways, let's wrap
And
this one up.
I just want to reach out and say thank you to all our Patreons and thank you for everybody who's listening. We really appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
And
I appreciate our patrons. Sedge appreciates our Patreon.
our page-
Totally different group of people.
I always say that, don't I?
you do. You do.
And it always
Um,
gives me an opportunity to rag on you, which I
Bust my
appreciate.
chops.
We should have said this at the very beginning of the show, but this is the start of weekly shows.
Woo!
What?
Yeah, we already had this conversation.
Woo!
But we didn't say for sure if it was going to happen. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. I am so excited.
Me too.
Yeah, I've got a good rhythm down now. So
Okay,
Huh.
Ben. Well, speaking of that, we just went through all three of our topics. Let's hit up the audience.
Yeah.
no, the next one is it's from a patron. I think it's Eric.
Let's hit up the patron.
Eric's next.
Okay.
So do you know the topic already?
It's about materials. I'll have to go back and look what he said. It's been
yeah,
a
I was
gonna
while.
say.
But,
Don't say it now. I was gonna when we get done, you can tell us.
yeah.
oh, well, you
Okay.
asked.
I need to do research.
Okay.
I just
Thank you,
want to say
everybody.
one
We
more
love-
thing. Go Red Sox.
Yeah. No, I want to say one thing. Go Cardinals, the only
Go-
left undefeated team in the NFL. Thank you.
Go
Go
Red Sox Nation. We're gonna
go F
do
yourselves.
Go F yourselves. Go Cardinals. Go Red Sox, and go F yourselves. Have a great night, everybody.
it. Later.
Just F yourselves. I've never heard of that team. Hey, this has been co-host and editor of the Green Suiters podcast. This episode is over, but if you want to hear more topics like this and you want to be a part of our conversation, head over to patreon.com/Green Suiters podcast for early access to each show. If you're listening to this on free feeds, be sure to leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.